What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of TEW Confrontational, episode number 43 of TEW Confrontational. My name is Ty Workentine here with my little brother, Evan Workentine. And
What up?
yeah, we're just going to hop right in. It was an exciting week of football starting off on Thursday night when we had the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, one of the better Thursday night games that we've seen this year is 41-35.
Yeah,
Dallas pulled this
absolutely.
one out, and then Dak throws for another 300 or close to 300, 299 and three touchdowns, and makes their home winning streak 14 now in Dallas. So Dallas is on a heater here, and they move to 9-3, and Seattle falls to 6-6. But Seattle, very underrated team and everything like that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, if going into it, Seattle didn't have a great record. And the Cowboys are supposed to be the best and one of the best in the NFC, and they barely pulled away from Seattle. So I don't know, it kind of just has, and then, how the other big teams played. Obviously 49ers played Philadelphia and they dominated them. So, I don't know, just the Cowboys should have probably beat them a little bit more handily. They weren't able to.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't help when DK Metcalf goes off for 134 and three
Yeah,
touchdowns
and he
and
scored a 70-yard touchdown right off the gates.
yeah,
So
73 yarder right off the bat. So yeah, uh, Dallas's defense, yes and no, and but Deron Bland having those 5 touchdown interceptions or 5 pick sixes to start the first half, he played like kind of like dog booty, but then in the second half, he finally stepped up in front of a pass and picked off for his like 8th interception of the year. So yeah, defense just got to play consistent the whole entire game. But other than that, yeah, Dallas looked phenomenal on offense. CD Lamb with 116 yards and a touchdown. Jake Ferguson had a touchdown. Brandon Cooks had a touchdown, and then Tony Pollard had a rushing touchdown. So yeah, a solid overall win for the Cowboys, and they just got to keep winning. Probably won't pass Philly for the number one spot in the NFC,
yeah, it doesn't
uh
look like it.
but I mean, Philly did end up losing, so it does help Philly or help Dallas kind of move up one more spot closer, one game behind from Philly to take over that
Yeah,
number one spot in
absolutely.
the NFC.
Yeah,
But yeah, solid win for the Cowboys. And yeah, watch out for Seattle. They got a tough schedule coming up the rest of the
yeah,
season. And but so do the Cowboys and everything like that. But yeah, watch out for Seattle. They're very underrated and everything like that. But yeah, Dallas plays Philly at home, so that's always good
on
at
week
home
week
if they
14.
got that 14 game win streak going. But yeah, they play Philly on Sunday night next week, so that's going to be a game to tune into. But yeah, Dallas moves to 9-3, Seattle to 6-6. And that was a good way to start off week 13 for NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a fun game to watch. Usually Thursday night games are pretty boring, but this one was a barn burner, 41-35. So yeah, we got to see a lot of touchdowns and a lot of scoring on this one. So
Yep.
um, good overall win for the Cowboys there. And
Yep.
then yeah, moving to Sunday, we'll kind of just roll through these ones here so we can talk a little bit more about week 14. But Colts at not necessarily upset the Titans. I think Colts had an advantage in this one, but beat the Titans at home 31-28 in overtime. Gardner Minshew for over 302 touchdowns. And yeah, Derrick Henry goes out with a concussion protocol and all that good stuff. But he still rushes for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. But yeah, Minshew with the game sealing touchdown to Michael Pittman Jr. In the back of the end zone to snag that one on the road in Tennessee, and Colts moved to 7-5 and Titans to 4-8. So you got anything on this one?
I know I don't really. Yeah, that game wasn't very entertaining to me. Yeah, the Colts had a 1 point advantage going into the game, or they were picked to win by one. So yeah, they were favored. So yeah, I don't like either of these teams. Yeah, I think Colts are decent with Gardner Minshew, but I don't think these two teams aren't going to go anywhere. Yeah, the Colts might make the playoffs, might be a wild card,
Yeah,
but I
100%.
don't think they're any team a dangerous team at all.
Right. Well, I mean, they still got. I mean, yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor was out with that. What was it, like a thumb injury or something like that? But
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had Zach Moss in the backfield. He had a decent game. But yeah, solid overall win for the Colts. They move up to 7-5, and they're a top in yeah, they're in a wild card spot in the AFC. So they got to keep winning and keep playing good. They're 5-1 on the road, which is pretty impressive for that Colts team and everything like that, with Gardner Minshew as their starter and missing Jonathan Taylor. So, and then big news, we kind of mentioned this last week. Colts released Shaq Leonard. Shaq Leonard now signs with Philly today, so that's always good news for Philly. Get another defensive end and everything like their defensive lineman to get pressure on the quarterback and everything. So good solid win for the Colts there at 7-5, Titans at 4-8. And then we had probably the most boring game of the day. We had the LA Chargers head into New England to face the Patriots. Patriots look like the worst team in football. Can't even get a point on the board, and
I
Chargers couldn't
mean,
score a touchdown either
yeah,
there.
they put up 6 points. Chargers are just embarrassing with, like we've mentioned multiple times, with how much talent they have. Yeah, everybody says they have a terrible coach, but with how much talent they have, to only put up 6 points against the Patriots is god awful. It's probably embarrassing for the whole fan base. Would be for the players too. Um, yeah, 6-0 against the Patriots. I know it was in New England. That don't matter. New England's dog shit, and obviously so are the Chargers.
Right. Right, but yeah, Chargers moved to 5-7, and Patriots fall to 2-10. It was a boring game, like I said, 6 points total, two field goals. Chargers end up taking that one 6-0 on the road there. And then we had the Detroit Lions heading to New Orleans. Detroit actually got off to a hot start, scored 21 points right away. Had Sam Laporta scoring a touchdown, David Montgomery, and Saints kind of make it a comeback there at the end. Derek Carr got hurt, goes out, I think, with a concussion protocol again, as well. And then, yeah, Jameis Winston steps in and kind of takes his place. Taysom Hill had a good game coming off the bench, going in at quarterback and running and throwing and stuff like that. But Lions hold on to this one, 33-28. They moved to 9-3, and Saints fall to 5-7. But yeah, great game from Sam Laporta, the rookie. And so yeah, if he keeps it up and they keep playing the way they do. I know Jamison Williams, second year player out of Alabama, had a touchdown in this one on a reverse sweep and everything like that. So that was fun to watch. But yeah, Lions, they just got to keep it up. Defense has got to keep playing good with Hutchinson and everything like
Mhm.
that. But yeah, good win, solid win for the Lions
Yeah,
to
they, I
move to
mean,
9-3.
they needed that. I mean, after a loss last week, kind of said it in last week's podcast. I think they thought they would bounce back. There's no way they're losing two in a row, especially the Saints. The Saints are, a mediocre team, but it's a good win for the Lions, and yeah, they definitely needed that to keep that momentum going, because that losing two straight kind of stops momentum. As we saw with the 49ers, they lost one straight and then two straight, and then went up three straight, and then obviously they broke that losing streak. But yeah, they needed to win that game, and yeah, they got it done.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of breaking, this is kind of a crazy situation. Alvin Kamara gets pushed out of bounds, runs into a cameraman, and
Oh
snaps
yeah.
his leg in half. Pretty much, gruesome scene on the sideline there. But yeah, hopefully that guy is doing all right. He's probably, yeah, Blake's probably hurting. Get some ibuprofen in that bitch. But
Mm-hmm.
that was a crazy scene when seeing him go, yeah, get pushed into the camera guy. That was, yeah. I was watching it live and it was just nasty. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah,
Those guys got to get out of the way, though, man. They're standing so close. You got to be some type of, you got to have some type of athleticism or something, awareness to get out of the way
well,
when you see
they're
somebody
coming
running
in.
inside
Yeah,
line.
they're coming in 20 miles an hour. He's going full speed and he's padded up and everything like that. It's hard to jump out of the way of something like that.
But yeah,
But
we've seen that. I know they're not part of the game. We've seen with refs too, where they're standing like the middle field ref stands right behind the linebackers and like right in between the safeties and linebackers. I've seen multiple players get running, or offensive players like running backs run into the referee.
yeah, it happened
Yeah,
in
that's
the
unacceptable. Yeah,
college.
pretty much. Yeah, I remember that, and he pretty much tackled him.
It happened in the college game on Saturday where the guy, the middle referee, has the camera on his head, and you just see the ball coming right at him, and it hits him in the chest, and gets that pass breakup. I think it was Washington and who are they playing? Oregon? No. Washington and I think it might have been Oregon, but
It was
they were
Oregon.
playing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
they were playing
was
in the
Oregon.
championship game, and yeah, just absolutely gets drilled with the ball from Penix or something like that. But yeah, then yeah, good overall win for the Lions. They moved to 30 or they moved to 9-3. Saints 5-7. And
Mhm.
then you had the Atlanta Falcons traveling to New Jersey to face the Jets at MetLife. Kind of an ugly game as well. But somehow the Falcons pull it out again. They're just winning by these one score games, close games, and everything like that. So solid win for the
Yeah,
Falcons
what was
there.
that final score? 8-3 or 11-8? What was
Yeah,
that final
13
score?
to 8. Yep,
13
13
to
to
8.
8.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was an ugly win for the Falcons, but they managed to do it again. So yeah,
Yep.
it
And
was raining. Yep.
speaking of the Jets got rid of Tim Boyle today, and now they're trying to lean back and go back and lean on Zach Wilson to start next week. And I've heard he's saying like, no, I don't want to play for this team. I've gotten benched and then started so many times this year.
Right. It
Yeah,
just
Tim Boyle, ex-Packer, gets released today, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, Jets are not in a good spot. And now Rodgers kind of tells he was on Pat McAfee show today, kind of seeming like he's not for sure that he does want to even come back. Now he's trying to change in his mind a little bit.
right.
So who knows? I know he's probably itching to get back, but it's not worth it if that team's what are they 4-7, 4-8?
Yeah, 4-8 now. So Falcons moved to 6-6. They're actually leading their division, so
Yep.
they have a playoff
Playoff spot.
spot as of now.
Yep.
And the Jets fall to 4-8. So we don't know. Yeah, we might see Aaron Rodgers this year, maybe probably not, depending on how this next couple weeks goes. You said he might be coming back week 16 or something like that.
Yeah,
Possibly
I
maybe.
think
So
it's week 16. I think yeah, December 24th, which would probably make sense of week 16,
yeah,
um,
16 or
or
17.
17.
So yeah,
And I think they play the Broncos that week. So,
yeah.
but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, Falcons get the dub there, move to 6-6. And then the Jets fall to 4-8, 13-8 win for the Falcons there. And then one of the shockers here, we had the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Pittsburgh in the Steel Curtain or at the Steel Curtain, and kind of upset the Steelers at home there. Yeah, James Conner scores twice on this one. Kenny Pickett actually gets hurt on this one as well. Looked like it was a leg or something he got rolled up on.
Mhm.
But yeah, Cardinals end up taking this one 24-10. News from Arizona, they released Zach Ertz. So he's no longer with the Cardinals. And then again, Philly is looking at getting Zach Ertz back to the Eagles. So
Yeah,
we'll see what
yeah, I heard
happens
that.
there. But yeah, Trey McBride looked good. He had 8 catches for 90 yards. James Conner with over 100 yards and 2 tutties, and Kyler Murray
Yep.
with a touchdown as well. So
Yeah, the
um,
McBride's been playing well. He had a touchdown as well.
yep,
He had 90 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, you mentioned James Conner with 2 touchdowns. Um, I mean, maybe next year. It depends. Obviously, they don't have a great record this year, but that looks like a strong team. I mean, that Trey McBride came out of kind of nowhere. I mean, these past 4 or 5 weeks, um, having putting up some good fantasy points and good yardage and touchdowns as well. So, and then James Conner's always been that goal line dog where you can put it in the end zone from 8 to anywhere from 8 yards to 2 yards out.
right.
So, yeah,
Yeah, Trey McBride,
I mean,
that second year player out of Colorado State, been stepping up and been playing well. He has 56 catches and 600 yards throughout this season, and one of the reasons probably why Arizona released Zach Ertz because they have a tight end that's reliable, younger,
way younger.
probably a
Yeah.
little bit more athletic, and yeah, just plays with like he has a chip on his shoulder. So
Hmm.
good win for the Cardinals. They moved to 3-10, and Steelers fall to 7-5. But I think they're still actually in the wild card as well over there in the AFC. So,
Yeah.
and then you had the Miami Dolphins heading to Washington and just absolutely shitting on the Commanders, 45-15. Tyreek Hill goes for 157. He's only 510 yards away from cracking 2,000. So we're witnessing history here. Watching the Dolphins, and yeah, almost one of the better teams in the NFL, like the greatest show on turf. It feels like with
Hmm.
all those weapons. Devon Achane comes back this week, and he puts up 2 touchdowns as well. Tyreek Hill had 2 touchdowns, and yeah, just right off the bat, Tyreek Hill caught like a 78-yard pass right off the bat for the first touchdown of the game, and no stopping from there. Never took
Yeah.
their foot off the gas and everything like that. So yeah, great win for the Dolphins. They moved to 9-3 as well, and the Commanders fall to 4-9. So yeah,
Yeah,
great
we kind of
win.
called that. We kind of called it last week when we were predicting week 13 that yeah they're going to go in there and just roll over them. Miami's good. They have a great offense. Um, and they can put up a lot of points. So if your defense is not there, if it doesn't show up, I mean they're going to steamroll you. So
Right.
yeah, we kind of predicted
Right.
that.
Yep. So yeah, Dolphins move to 9-3, which is going to be they're ahead of their AFC East. But I'm just gonna take a look at the conference standings here. And yeah, they actually move ahead of the Baltimore Ravens, just because yeah they're 6-2 in their conference and Baltimore's 6-3, so they have a little bit of a edge over the Baltimore Ravens. So Miami bumps up to number one there in the AFC. So yeah,
Hmm.
good solid win for the Dolphins there. And then we had an AFC battle, the Broncos traveling to Houston to play the Texans. This one was kind of a good game. Yeah, one of the better games that I watched there. Texans look good. I mean, and this was a huge game for them because they needed to get that win over the Broncos to move up in their conference and everything. They're
Yep.
sitting at 8 right now, so they're one spot out of the playoffs,
Hmm.
wild card. And then Indy is one spot ahead of them at 7-5, and Cleveland's at 7-5, and Pittsburgh's at 7-5. So if Houston can get a couple more wins to end the season, they could do something special, make the wild card. And then the heart that team has, they're young. Sucks that Tank Dell gets hurt. He fractured his fibula in this game, so he's out the rest of the season. But
That's
they have
unfortunate. That's huge.
Nico.
That's huge, though. I mean, he was
Right.
balling out that entire year pretty much. So
He was, yeah, the rookie. Yep, exactly. He was balling out, but they also have Nico Collins, who has been balling out as well. He puts up 191 yards and through the receiving yards and had a touchdown. So, yeah, one of the best games of his career. And then the Texas defense comes up huge, with Will Anderson and all those dogs. They got a solid team. They could do something special. Watch out for these guys coming in and shocking the world, just like the Broncos were on that 6-game win streak. But yeah, Houston ends up holding down the fort in Houston and getting the win in that one, 22-17. Like I said, Texans moved to 7-5 and Broncos moved to 6-6. So
yeah, and you called that. You had Houston, and I had Denver, I believe, last
yeah,
week.
yep,
I think the Broncos are still a good team. I mean, that was a pretty good game, and yeah, Houston looks good. But yeah, like you mentioned, it's a huge loss, I think, for that rookie to go out, Tank Dell. I know they have other weapons to throw to,
yeah,
but I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
they're a
They
good team.
got Yeah, they got Noah Brown, who needs to step up and play well. But they also have that John Mitchie, who needs to step up and
Mechie,
play.
Mechie.
Yeah, yeah, who needs to step up and play well. But yeah, like I said, young team. That John Mitchie's out of Alabama, his second year. And then yeah, that Tank Dell was a rookie, and Nico Collins, he's also on his third year out of Michigan. So he's been balling. He almost has 1,000 yards on the year and has 6 touchdowns. So yeah, like I said, if they keep rolling and continuing this momentum into the last couple weeks of the season, yeah, watch out for the Texans. Yeah, they look good, and I like that whole team down there in Houston. So
Yeah.
and then you had the Carolina Panthers traveling to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers. Yeah, Buccaneers get this one by a field goal, barely squeaking it out over the Panthers, 18-21. And yeah, Buccaneers move to 5-7. Panthers fall to 1-11.
Hmm.
So Chicago's looking like they're gonna get that first round pick.
You
Um,
know, yeah, absolutely. And you know how I went um, last week, not last week, the week before. I picked the Panthers. I was like, last time I picked them, they won. I'm glad I stuck with the Bucks here, and that was a big win for the Bucks. Kind of get back on that, you know, that win track. But yeah, if you won in 11, and also like I think what they get rid of Frank Wright 2 weeks ago, or was it last week?
yeah, last week we talked about that they fired him
Yeah, I
halfway.
know,
Yeah.
but I'm saying maybe that was maybe a boost in confidence. I mean, it was a close game, and the Buccaneers aren't a terrible team, so they played with them, but obviously losing by field goal, that's hard, especially after you fire your coach. Maybe some type of change of facility team, but no, one to
Yeah,
11.
I don't think the Panthers have a bad team. I think they have a pretty decent team. They just need to get their line together, their offensive line to protect Bryce Young. He got sacked 4 or 5 times and had an interception, but Chuba Hubbard goes off for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, but wasn't enough to top Baker and Mike Evans in the Buccaneers. Mike Evans actually cracks 1,000 yards for the 10th straight season in a row. So
Yeah,
just an
which is
absolute
crazy. He's only been in the NFL for 10 years. You know
just an
that?
absolute dog. Exactly. 10th straight year for Mike Evans cracking 1,000 yards, and he had 162 and a touchdown. So yeah, great
Yeah,
performance from the
wild.
Buccaneers. Finally get back on that win track, like you said. And yeah, Panthers fall to 1-11. Trying to get some wins so they're not the first overall pick, because they do not want to trade away DJ Moore, first of all, and then and then lose the first round pick to the number one overall pick to the Chicago Bears. That would just be a loss and a just kind of, yeah, not feel good if you're a Panthers fan. But solid win for the Bucks there at home to move to 5-7. And so yeah, great game from the Bucks and Baker Mayfield.
Hmm.
um and then you had the Cleveland Browns heading to LA to take on the Rams. Matt Stafford threw for 4 touchdowns last week, throws for 3 touchdowns this week. And yeah, Puka Nakua had that long catch at the beginning of the game. Kerryon Williams is still balling out. He had 88 yards and a touchdown. And then Cooper Kupp actually got got a tutty this week. I think that might be the first of the season for him. So yeah, shout out Cooper Kupp. It's actually his second of the season, but he's been banged up, had a couple ankle injuries and everything like that. But they put up 36 points on the Cleveland Browns, who have one of the better defenses in the league. Um,
Hmm.
and kind of just hold off the Browns. So they moved to 7-5. Like I said, the Browns 7-5. And they're still in the wild card hunt there. That
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
AFC North or whatever that is
And
looking pretty decent. So
you gotta think the Browns are on the third string quarterback
Joe
after they
Flacco.
Joe
Yeah.
Flacco. Yep, old Joe Flacco.
So
So,
they
I
sat
mean,
DTR. I think DTR got hurt. But yeah, they bring in Joe Flacco, the old fart, but he throws for 2 touchdowns and
yeah.
250 yards. Just a veteran presence in the backfield and in the locker room does help, you would
Oh yeah,
think.
for
But
sure. And I mean, he's got a good track record. His history, he's won a Super Bowl, so with
yeah,
Baltimore. So I mean, it's a good vet to bring in to kind of help. I mean, especially if you are 7-4 prior to losing this game. You're sitting in a good spot. You need to make some wins or get some wins. So unfortunately, they lose to the Rams, but it is what it is. They just got to keep moving, and hopefully, I don't think DTR is going to ever be in the. I don't think he'll start again. I think they'll probably have to ride with Joe Flacco, especially after him throwing 2 touchdowns and 250 yards his first game. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
yeah, and he's just a vet. He knows the system, and pretty much every system he's been with, like 4 or 5 different teams. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a solid win for the Rams at home. They moved to 6-6. Browns fall to 7-5. I don't know if the Browns can keep up. It's their defense that keeps them in games. But if you're having Matt Stafford throw for 3 touchdowns and everything like that, this is the Rams' third straight win, so they're kind of on a heater as well. Puka Nakua goes for 105 and a touchdown, so he's back on track. Back to when the first 4 weeks of the season were happening, when he was averaging 150 yards and everything like that. But yeah, solid win for the Rams at home. And then yeah, game of the America's game of the week, you had the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Philadelphia just to shit in the birdcage and yeah, just dominate the Eagles. Hey, dominate the Eagles and everything like that. Yeah, so 49ers pull that one on the road 42-19. Debo
Hmm.
Samuel with 116 yards and 2 touchdown receptions, and I also believe that he had a rushing touchdown as well. Yeah, he did. So he goes for 3 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey goes for 100 yards and a touchdown, and Brock Purdy has 4 touchdowns through the air. Almost a perfect passer rating as a quarterback. So yeah,
Hmm.
we were having this conversation when you came over to watch the Packers Chiefs game or watch Sunday football, that 49ers are probably one of the better teams in the NFL, if
Yep.
not the best team in the NFL on all facets of the game, offense,
Yeah.
defense, and special teams. They just shit on the Eagles at
And
at
that's
their
a
place.
and that's a big statement win. That's a
Yeah.
huge game that you have to win to make a statement, and they did that, and they did it handily. I'm beating them by 30 points, whatever it was, close to 30 points. that was impressive. Um, and yeah, they just got to, yeah, like you said, in all facets, both sides of the ball, special teams, they just make an impact. And I don't think if they can keep it up, I don't think any team's going to beat them. I know the Eagles. I mean, they're you can see they're all in. I mean, they're bringing people on, like Raekwon Smith or not Raekwon Smith.
Jack Leonard.
Say Shaq Leonard. Yeah. So I guess yeah, we'll just have to see. It's going to come down to the wire. And NFC, I think there's three good teams. Yeah, like Cowboys are up there, 49ers or Eagles. I think those are your top three teams in the NFC. Besides, Packers are looking pretty damn good. But yeah,
But yeah, it was kind of a statement game. Felt like the 49ers had a chip on their shoulder from the NFC Championship last year, where Brock Purdy goes out and then their second string goes out and they're on their third string quarterback. They had to bring Debo into the backfield, or Christian McCaffrey was playing
both of them.
quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both of them kind
exactly.
of threw.
So it's kind of a statement game from last year in the NFC Championship. So the 49ers did want to come out and just put a statement on to the Eagles saying, hey, we are the better team. So we'll see you guys in the NFC Championship again this year, and it's not going to be pretty. So,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of rain that game. It was wet in Philly. It was wet all over in the Northeast. Just rained pretty much every game that was on TV. Pretty much, if it was up in that northeastern side of the U.S. But yeah, good statement win for the 49ers. They moved to 9-3. Eagles fall to 10-2. Still have the best record in the NFL, but that defense just got exposed by the 49ers, and they were doing whatever they wanted to do. So yeah, fun game to watch. 49ers 42, Eagles 19. Yeah, and just a overall dominant performance from the 49ers. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and then moving to Sunday night, we had the Kansas City Chiefs heading to the frozen tundra at Lambeau Field, and yeah, Packers put a statement on the Chiefs and saying, hey, we're young, but we're coming for blood and all that good stuff. So they're on a pretty good win streak as well. Yeah, and Packers end up beating the Kansas City Chiefs at home 27-19. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, they hold off on a Patrick Mahomes Hail Mary. The defense did at the end of the game. A little bit of controversy on some of the calls in this game, but Packers were able to hold it out and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And Taylor Swift was at this game too, I think. Probably
Yep.
one of the first games that the Kansas City Chiefs had lost when Taylor Swift was there. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Packers? Do you think they're going to make a run, make the playoffs, and all that
I
good stuff?
do. Just looking at it, and I called this game, but obviously I'm a Packers fan, so. But dude, I got a lot of faith in this team. I know it's been up and down throughout this whole, I mean, throughout all of our podcasts and throughout this entire season, 14 weeks in. But no, Jordan Love, I got 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the past 3 games, 66% passer percentage. Yeah, he's balling out. And then obviously Christian Watson's coming alive at the right time, 2 touchdowns against the Chiefs. And our defense is playing not phenomenal, but they're stopping them. They're bending but not breaking. And yeah, I mean, yeah, like you mentioned, there's a few iffy calls on both sides of the ball. I mean, I know Patrick Mahomes was running and he wasn't out of bounds. He had both feet inbounds and got hit, and they called a 15-yard penalty late hit, which gave him a first down. And then there was a pass interference that they were talking about against the Packers. But I mean, at the end of the day, we kind of dominated that game just like we did um, against Detroit, and that's 2 big wins back to back. And then just looking at the schedule coming up, the next 5 games, pretty easy. We play the Giants on Monday. We play the Buccaneers a week after. We play the Carolina Panthers after that. And then we end out with Chicago as our last game. And then you do play the Minnesota Vikings on New Year's, that second to last game. So those are all winnable games. And I think that if we win out, I mean, obviously going 11-6 is a pretty good way to end the year. I mean, that's 8-0 or 7-0 to end the, no, 8-0 because we beat the Chargers too. Oh no, we lost to Steelers. So yeah, 8-1 in your last 9 games is pretty impressive for a youngest team in the NFL. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they got in the tank. I mean, obviously, this is huge. You got to finish the season strong.
Yeah, they actually, with that win there, they snuck into the wild card spot, the last wild card spot in the NFC, right behind the Minnesota Vikings, just because we got a game on them in the beginning of the year. But yeah, like I said, Vikings looking scary if we don't get a couple more wins underneath our belt. We did have a bye this week, but yeah, we have Philadelphia at 1, San Francisco at 2, Detroit at 3, and then Atlanta has that last
Mm-hmm.
spot, and then Dallas at 5, Minnesota at 6, and
Yeah.
Green Bay at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but a couple more teams. You got Seattle right at 6-6, and Los Angeles at 6-6 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 4 to 5 or 4 to 9 are all at 6-6 in the NFC. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty close throughout there. So can't afford to lose any more games, especially
No.
if they're NFC conference games or divisional games, as
Yeah.
a matter of fact. So
And I'd
um,
and I'd say the Packers, they don't want, right where they're sitting is not. They've been there before. Obviously they're going, if they're 7. San Francisco's sitting at 2 right now. It's not a good game you want to play in. If you're a Packers fan, you've known all the hurt that the 49ers have put us through, back to back to back years. So I think we need to win at least 4 or 5 games to move up, maybe to 5. Um, who knows? But yeah, you don't want to be playing the 49ers first round. So
yeah, and like you said, they have a pretty, I wouldn't say
it's pretty
tough,
easy.
like,
None of the teams are
yeah,
all the
kind
teams.
of
None of the teams are
lackluster.
500.
Yeah, kind of
Um,
a lackluster schedule to end the season, which is nice, especially if you're heating up right at the right moment.
mhm.
Christian Watson did this last year, uh, dropped the first touchdown pass from Aaron Rodgers, and then come week 8, 10, then he starts picking up. He was averaging like 2 touchdowns a game the last 4 weeks of the season last year. So
Yeah,
yeah, if they can start clicking, they're very young. They're missing uh they're
Aaron Jones.
missing Aaron Jones. David Bakhtiari hasn't played maybe
He hasn't
two
played the
snaps this
first game.
season. Yeah,
He
like
played the
two
first game.
snaps. And then you're also missing your safety, Alexander.
His
Um,
corner, yeah, Jair Alexander.
yeah, you're missing Jair.
Yeah,
Um,
but I mean, just to think people, coming in and making a difference. Obviously, he's not a running back to replace Aaron Jones, but
James
yeah,
Robinson.
that no Jaden Reed.
Oh yeah,
He's a
Jaden Reed. He's been
baller.
balling out. Yep.
And then obviously Luke Musgrave's out the rest of the year, that our tight end. So
Then you have
Tucker
Kraft.
Kraft played pretty good.
Yep.
So we're having young guys step up, which is it's great to see. But let's get on to the Monday night game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a next man up league and everything like that. So if you aren't ready, you're not getting in. But Tucker Kraft is held up. He scores his first touchdown of the year and everything like that. So, but yeah, fun to watch the Chiefs though. They're always fun. Pacheco, especially, he's a fucking dog and just runs as hard
Hmm.
as he can every single time. And I don't know how he doesn't get hurt, how he's not on the injury report or out of practice at
Right,
least,
right.
just from all the hits he's been taking. But yeah, he has 110 and a touchdown. But yeah, Jordan Love with 3 touchdowns this game and 260 yards and almost a
And
perfect
then
passer
yeah,
rating
and
as
then
well. So
3 against. I know we got to move on from the Packers. I know I like to talk about them the whole time, but 3 interceptions or 3 touchdowns against and 0 interceptions against the Detroit Lions, and then playing pretty well against Steelers. I mean, he threw 2, didn't throw any interceptions. I don't believe. Um, so he's turning on, which is fun to see. And I know I've talked a lot of shit about Jordan, when he had that 3 or 4 game losing streak, but
yeah,
now he's turning it on. So I mean, and we every Packers fan knew this was going to happen. You having a quarterback,
well, it's the
2 quarterbacks the past 32 years, and then we knew it's his first year. Played 1 game last year against Kansas City, and then this year, we knew it was going to be a roller coaster, ups and downs. But maybe he's gonna. I mean, hopefully he ends up on the upside towards the end of the year, so we can get into the playoffs and make a statement. But yeah, it's just fun to watch, and that was a good game. That was a good game to watch because, yeah, that was Jordan Love's first game
yeah, it's fun to
as a
beat Kansas
starter, and
City.
then
Yeah.
coming in, they come into Lambeau and we get the dub. So yeah,
Yeah, fun to beat Kansas City, especially at home. Crowd was bumping there in Lambeau, but yeah, solid win for the Packers. They moved to 6-6. Chiefs fall to 8-4. And yeah, like you said, Packers have a decent schedule, so you'll see them in the playoffs. And fun, it wasn't a fun fact, but you sent me this earlier. Aaron Rodgers had like 2,100 yards,
mm-hmm.
same touchdowns, same
20,
record,
yeah,
21
yep,
touchdowns, 2,100 yards, or 25 or 2,600 yards, 21 touchdowns, same interceptions, and same record heading into this game. And so, yeah, he's
yep.
right on pace to be one of the next legends in Green Bay. So yeah, fun to watch. And then
Sure.
yeah, moving on to Monday night, another great game. Don't know how the Bengals squeaked this one out, but they end up beating the Jacksonville Jaguars in Duval County, 34-31, by a
Right.
game-winning field goal in overtime from Evan McPherson. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Jake Browning throws for 350 yards, ex-Viking, and a touchdown to Jamar Chase, and then Joe Mixon with 2 tutties on the ground as well.
Yeah, and then with that Browning throw, he threw what four incompletions the entire game or whatever it was, or six.
Right.
I think it was
Yeah,
like 26
32
to
for
30.
37. Yeah, through
So
5
he threw,
incompletions, but
yeah, played really well. Unfortunately, I decided because I knew this game wasn't gonna be that great. I thought the Jags were definitely gonna win this, so I didn't even watch the entirety of the game. I just peeked in on my phone and checked the score out and watched a little bit of highlights, but kind of missed out on a good Monday night game, to be honest. I know it was 28-28, and then obviously they lose by a field goal or whatever it was. But good win for the Bengals, and yeah, and then now that Joe Burrow's out the rest of the year, they have some trust or they have some confidence in that Browning kid, which he's a former Washington Husky quarterback. So,
yeah,
yeah,
100%. Yeah, solid win, and it's actually a huge win for the Bengals AFC conference game, and then they moved to 6-6, and they're right outside the playoff hunt in the wild card. Especially if the Browns and the Steelers keep losing and they keep winning, they
right.
can move up into that wild card spot for sure. So yeah, watch out for the Bengals as well. So if Jake Browning keeps playing the way he does, then yeah, 100%. But Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence goes out with the high ankle sprain, no timetable on his return, so that hurts. Christian Kirk also pulls a groin or does something to his groin, and Calvin Ridley was pretty much non-existent in this game as well, like he's been earlier this season and just not having a year. But yeah, Bengals get this one 34-31. Jacksonville falls to 8-4. Bengals move to 6-6. So yeah, solid win for the Bengals in overtime to knock off the Jaguars. And then yeah, teams that didn't play this week that had byes were Bills, Bears, Raiders, Vikings, Giants, and Ravens. So yeah, great week 13 overall. A lot of close games, a lot of fun games to watch, high scoring games, and everything like that for the most part. But yeah, solid week 13 of the NFL. And yeah, we'll move on to week 14 here. All right. Yeah. Moving on to week 14. We'll just go over our records here. I was 115-65 heading into week 13, and I went 8-5, making my overall total 123-70. And you were 110-70 going into week 13. And then your week 13 record was 9-4. So you move up to 119-74. So only 4 games behind, only 4
Getting pretty
games back
close.
now after week 13. But yeah, moving into week 14 here. Starting off the week on Thursday night, you have the New England Patriots head into at 2-10. New England Patriots heading to the Steel Curtain in Pittsburgh to face the Steelers, who are at 7-5. Pittsburgh has a 6-point advantage in this one at home over the worst team in the NFL here. Who do you got?
Yeah, Steelers for sure. Just the performance the Patriots put on against the Chargers last week at home. I don't see them going into Pittsburgh and winning that game at all. Um, yeah, I don't know. And Steelers, I mean, are not great, but they're not playing a good team. So yeah, I think they got this win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Steelers as well at home, even if they don't have Kenny Pickett. Mitch Trubisky didn't play too terrible of a game when he came in. Some aired throws, but if he gets on track and just takes care of the ball, I think the Steelers end up winning this one, especially with how their defense is playing and everything. Yeah, give me the
Right.
Steelers at home in this one. So and then yeah, moving to Sunday at noon o'clock, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head into Atlanta to face the Falcons. Buccaneers are at 5-7. Falcons are at 6-6, and Atlanta has a 2.5 point spread in this one. Yeah, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, so this is a close one for me. I don't know, just with the Falcons getting away with so many games by so little amount of points. I know they're at home, but I'm gonna go with Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. Just with Mike Evans having passing that 1,000 yard mark this year. Hopefully he has another big game. That's a big accomplishment for him. 10 years running 1,000 yards. So yeah, I'm gonna go Bucks in at the Falcons.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. I mean, yeah, like you said, the Falcons are always winning these close ass games. Buccaneers coming off a dub last week. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go Falcons at home in this one, especially if they can get Bijan going and everything like that.
Hmm.
Desmond Ritter played a decent game last week. Just needs to take care of the ball, but I don't think the Bucks have it in them to go into Atlanta and beat the Falcons. I'm gonna take Atlanta in this one here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean this game could go either way.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be a tight one. Hopefully it's exciting to watch. But Yeah, I think the Falcons got this one at home with Artie Smith
Yeah.
and Bijan Robinson and Cordell Patterson, Tyler Algier, all those studs in the backfield. It's going to be hard to stop the run from the Falcons. So, and then yeah, another noon o'clock game, divisional game, NFC North matchup. You have the Detroit Lions at 9-3 head into Chicago to face the 4-8 Bears. Detroit has a 3-point spread um, over the Bears on the road. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Detroit Lions. I remember this game a few weeks ago. I think it had actually been maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, but it was a close game. I mean, all these divisional games are close. I know the Bears almost beat them, but I'm gonna go Detroit in Chicago. Maybe a close game, but I don't think that Detroit's gonna let Chicago win this game. Especially, I mean, bottom of the division versus top of the division. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, Bears are picking up some steam. They got that Vontez Sweat from the Commanders, and he had a sack last game, and he's been playing well. But I just think the Lions have too many weapons. If Jared Goof can just play well, take care of the ball, and David Montgomery and the rookie, wow, shit, why am I blanking on his name? But yeah, if that two-headed monster in the backfield, Jahmyr Gibbs, if that two-headed monster in the
Yep.
backfield can keep it up and keep scoring touchdowns and putting points on the board, and then Amara St. Brown keep going, and then Sam Laporta, I think there's just too many weapons in Detroit for the Bears to face. So give me the Lions in this one as well on the road. But yeah, it should be a close one. Detroit only has a 3-point spread, so a lot better than it was, like you said, in the previous
Hmm.
time they faced.
Absolutely.
So so yeah, Bears kind of stepping it up, but I think the Lions have too much talent on their team to lose this one. So and then you have the Indianapolis Colts heading to Cincinnati to face the Bengals. Colts sitting at 7-5, Bengals at 6-6. This is an AFC matchup. Indy has a 1-point spread on the road in the jungle. Yeah, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I got the Bengals here. Just the way that Browning played, I think he's gonna have another good game. I know two backups, and one's a veteran backup. And Gardner Minshew, he's been playing well. I'm kind of leading his team to victory, but no, I'm gonna go Bengals at home in the jungle. Um, yeah, I think Browning's gonna have another good game, and yeah, Joe Mixon, I think he's hard to stop in the red zone. I mean, he only had what 50, 60 yards last, not maybe not that many yards last week, but he still had 2 touchdowns. So I think he's a good red zone running back, and he'll put some points on the board for them if they can get down there.
Yeah, I mean that performance was good from Jake Brown, and if he can keep it up, Bengals do have a solid chance to win this one. But Colts defense pretty solid, and then like you said, Gardner Minshew having that vet in the backfield, and then yeah, Michael Pittman's been playing well. Zach Moss is a great secondary back behind Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor probably missed this game too, but uh, yeah, if Bengals can keep playing the way they did at home, it's tough to win in the jungle. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Bengals in this one as well. Even though, yeah, Colts. Yeah, I think the Colts should win this one, but they had a close game last week. Going into OT. I think the Bengals take this one as well at home. It's tough to win in the jungle, so yeah, give me the Bengals as well in this one. So and then we have another AFC matchup. We have the Jaguars heading to Cleveland to face the Browns. Yeah, I mean, not Travis, Trevor Lawrence with that high ankle sprain, probably not going to be playing this week against the Browns. And you have Joe Flacco starting for
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland. So 8-4 Jags, 7-5 Browns. Cleveland has a 3-point advantage at home. What do you got in this one?
Yeah, I got the Cleveland Browns at home. Old Joe Flacco, and obviously having, I mean, it's huge when you don't have Trevor Lawrence as
Yeah,
your
he was
quarterback. I mean,
pretty
I
much.
think this is his first game that he's ever missed since starting his first ever game as an NFL player, his first ever game that he's missed. So um, I don't know if they can adapt to that. And who's is it CJ Beathard or whatever? CJ Beathard's the Jaguars backup quarterback, I believe. You should take a look and see who that is. I think it's CJ Beathard,
Yeah, let me take a look here.
but no, I got the Cleveland Browns. Um, yeah, I just don't. I don't think it's gonna be a great game. Um, but yeah, I think Joe Flacco and his in his veteran ways, he's gonna win that game for him.
Yeah, CJ Beathard is their backup.
Better, yeah, better.
Yeah, and he's a decent backup. He's came in a couple times for a couple different teams and played pretty decent, but it's tough to lose Trevor Lawrence. He's pretty much the whole team. But if Travis Etienne can put up some ground yards and score a couple touchdowns, hopefully the new quarterback will get adapted with Calvin Ridley this week and stuff like that because he's their main weapon. Then you have Zay Flowers and Evan Ingram. But without
Not
Christian
Zay
Kirk,
Flowers, but yeah, Zay
Zay
Flowers,
Jones, my bad.
Zay Jones,
Zay
yep.
Jones, yeah.
And then what's his name's out? What's his
Christian
name?
Kirk.
Christian Kirk's out. And then yeah, but hey, Evan Ingram did have his first touchdown last week for this year, so that's pretty impressive. Not really. I mean, it's week 13, but
Right. But I
maybe
mean,
he can get going and be a big target for CJ Beathard. But yeah, I got the Browns in this one.
you got the Browns. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the I like the Jaguars. They just got to keep it up. They're 5-0 on the road. I think they keep that road win streak alive. I'm gonna go Jags in this one, even though they let me down last week to the Bengals and Jake Browning. I think yeah they'll bounce back this week and beat the Browns, bump them down out of the wild card, and I think Houston might bump up into the wild card. So yeah, give me the Jags in this one here. So I like the Jacksonville on the road in this one. And then you have the Carolina Panthers heading to the New Orleans Saints. 1-11 Panthers versus the 5-7 Saints. Derek Carr's out, so I think Jameis Winston is going to be the starting quarterback there, and then you'll see a lot of quarterback time from oh my god, Taysom Hill. Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of Taysom Hill this game just with Derek Carr being out. But yeah, I don't think the Panthers have much left to gain from this season anymore. So
No, I don't think so either. And they should want to win because it's not their pick, anyways. They can't use that pick by playing awful. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Saints here. Like you said, yeah, they'll probably do a lot of wildcat with Taysom Hill. They'll probably run the ball quite a bit with Taysom Hill or Alvin Kamara. And then they still got Michael Thomas. They still got a lot of weapons that can be used in that game. And yeah, just being 1-11 with the interim head coach. And yeah, I think the biggest thing is they're 1-11. I mean,
right.
What do you do?
Yeah, I think there's too much going on in Carolina with losing the head coach, all that fun stuff. I like the Saints in this one. Chris Olave has been playing real well, especially the last couple of weeks. And Saints have a 4.5-point spread in this one. I'm going to go with the Saints as well at home in this one. And then we have the Houston Texans heading to New Jersey to MetLife Stadium to face the 4-8 Jets. This is actually a pretty big game for Texas. For Houston Texans and everything like that. They have a 5.5-point spread on the road in this one against the Jets. Who do you got?
I have the Houston Texans. I mean, like you mentioned, they're a good team. Yeah, it's kind of hurts that they're not going to have Tank Dell or whatever. But the Jets, yeah, sitting at 4-7, not very good. I mean, their defense is good, but I think the Texans' offense is really good. So yeah, I just don't know. I don't think that Jets have anything left either, so I'm gonna go Houston.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Houston as well. With this one, Nico Collins has been balling out. CJ Stroud, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and already has 3,500 yards on the year. I like the way that he's playing, and he's a rookie, but he's also one of the better leaders that we've ever seen come in as a rookie and dominate the way he's dominating. So yeah, give me CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans on the road in this one over the Jets, especially with their quarterback situation going on with Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, all that fun stuff. So yeah, give me the Houston Texans.
Yeah, they picked up, I believe. They got rid of I believe they. I'm not even gonna say because I don't know if I'm correct. But I know they did get rid of Tim Boyle, but I thought they picked up that Ripon guy that played for.
Yeah, they got Brett Ripon. They also have Trevor Siemian. Looks like he might be the one to start in Trevor Siemian. But then Zach Wilson and then yeah, Brett Ripon are the 3 quarterbacks. Then you have Aaron Rodgers on IR with that Achilles. But yeah, so we'll see. I don't know if there's any confidence in any of the Jets players besides on the defensive end. But yeah, they haven't been putting up too many points. So yeah, give me the Houston Texans in this one. And then we have the Los Angeles Rams heading to Baltimore to face the Ravens here. Yeah, 6-6 Rams who put up 34 points. Matt Stafford with like 7 touchdowns the last 2 games. But then you have the Baltimore Ravens, who are coming off a bye, who are sitting at 9-3. They have a 7 point advantage over the Rams at home in this one. Who do you got?
I got the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, just being at home, it's hard to play there. And then yeah, all the playmakers, Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, yeah, those guys. What's his name? I'm just blanked right now. Uh,
For the Ravens, Gus Edwards,
yeah,
the running
not
back.
no, not Gus Edwards, receiver. I don't say I have OBJ, but what's that kid from
Rashad
Minnesota?
Bateman.
Rashad Bateman. He's been playing well towards the end of the year. Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to take over. I think they're going to take the entire AFC. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I like the Ravens in this one too, especially at home. They're first in the AFC there. I mean, second and behind the Dolphins, but yeah, they have the same record and everything. But yeah, I think the Ravens, especially coming off that bye, I think they go ahead and knock off the Rams at home in this one. So yeah, give me Baltimore in this one. Then you have Minnesota Vikings sitting at 6-6, traveling to Las Vegas to face the 5-7 Raiders. Minnesota has a 3 point advantage in this one. Who do you got in this one?
yeah. So I didn't pick this game. I had every game picked. I mean, besides I still haven't picked the Cowboys and Eagles game yet. But it's a tough one. I don't know who's going to be a starting quarterback for the Vikings after that bye. I know is it going to be what's his name? Astronaut, whatever, Pastronaut,
Josh Dobbs. Yep.
Josh Dobbs, or is it going to be that Jaron Hall? I'm not sure. I know there's just some discussion going into the bye that they may make a change.
Yep.
And then the Raiders, they're on a back quarterback too, aren't they?
No, they
Yeah,
got
Jimmy G
a
back.
yeah. I think he's gonna be coming back this week. I think.
Okay.
If not, they have that Aaron O'Connell or Adrian
Aiden,
O'Connell or whatever his
Aiden
name is.
O'Connell.
Yeah, Aiden O'Connell, who's been playing well. He hasn't been playing bad. He's
Yeah.
been taking care of the ball. But yeah, Raiders do have a tough defense with Max Crosby coming off the edge and everything like that. But I like the Minnesota Vikings in this one. I think the Vikings go on the road and steal one from the Raiders. Yeah, even with Jaron Hall comes back or Josh Dobbs. Sucks that he had to throw 4 interceptions last week because he was on a roll. Definitely a confidence dump there, but I still like
Yeah.
the Vikings, especially coming off a bye, getting their mind right again, especially after that kind of a high when Josh Dobbs came in and wins 3 out of 4, and everything like that. So yeah, give me the Vikings in this one over the
I'm gonna go
Raiders.
Minnesota. A key point that they're getting back is Justin Jefferson. He's going to play this week.
Yep.
So that's huge for them. Whoever the quarterback is, and he's going to give a lot of confidence to that quarterback, and be like a safety net or a big target for that quarterback. So I'm going to go Vikings in Las Vegas.
Yeah, JJ coming back should be a huge help. Yeah, especially the Raiders are sitting at 5-7. They're 4-2 at home. And yeah, Vikings coming off that bye. So are the Raiders though. But I still like the Vikings in this one. I'm gonna stick with my home team and rock with the purple and yellow. So and then you have this one could be a tough game as well. I don't know if it will be, but you have the Seattle Seahawks traveling to San Francisco to face the 9-3 49ers, who are on a tear after losing those 3 straight. Now we're 4-0, and got their win streak back up to 4. Yeah, and San Francisco has a 10.5 point spread in this one. Who do you got?
Yeah, I got to go with the San Francisco 49ers. The way they just whipped ass this past week. I mean, the Seattle, yeah, they held up with the Dallas Cowboys, but yeah, 49ers are going to kick ass. And that 10.5, I think it's 10.5 spread.
Yep.
They'll cover that. I think they're going to roll over them.
Yeah, another probably 21 point dominant affair from the 49ers. But yeah, give me the 49ers in this one as well. Yeah, they're just all around dominant on both sides of the ball. And yeah, it doesn't seem like anyone can stop them after that bye week that they had. They've just been rolling, just like they were at the beginning of the year for the first 5 games. So yeah, give me the 49ers in this one. And then another tough game. Like these are a lot of good games here coming up. You have the Buffalo Bills sitting at 6-6, traveling to Kansas City to face the Chiefs, who are at 8-4, and Kansas City has a 2.5 point spread in this one. This one should be a close game, but it is in Arrowhead, so we'll see how the Bills come out to play. They're coming off a bye, but yeah, who do you got in this one?
I got Buffalo and Kansas City. Just coming off that bye. all rested up. Uh, and just the way the Chiefs, I know the Packers played well, but the way the Chiefs played against the Packers didn't really show me anything. I didn't think they were one of the top teams in the NFL. And I think the Bills, they've had a few tough games where they actually were very competitive, and I think they're better than the record shows. So I'm going to go Buffalo and Kansas City.
Yeah, I've been saying this all year. I hate the hype around the Bills. And you never bet against Patrick Mahomes at home. So I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. I think they beat them by more than 2.5. I think it's going to be a 10-point game over the Bills, especially coming out that loss to the Packers. The Chiefs are kind of playing with a chip on their shoulder and everything. Give me the Chiefs at home in this one. So then a divisional game at 3:25, you have the Denver Broncos heading to LA to face the Chargers. Yeah, Chargers sitting at 5-7, Broncos at 6-6. Broncos coming off a bye, Chargers coming off a win. LA has a 3-point spread in this one. Who do you got in this one?
I got the Denver Broncos just because, the Chargers only put up 6 points last week against one of the worst teams in the NFL, and the Patriots. And the Broncos have been playing pretty well. I think they're 5-1 in the past 6 games. You said they had a bye last week?
Who? No,
The
neither
Denver
one of these
Broncos.
teams. No,
Yeah,
Denver
you said
coming
that
off
the
a
Broncos.
loss.
Yeah, you said that Broncos were coming off a bye. So, yeah, they're 5-1 in the past 6 games, and they had a tough loss. So, and yeah, like I said, 6 points against the New England Patriots. I'm gonna go Broncos.
Yeah, give me LA at home in this one. I think they get their offense clicking. It hasn't been clicking the past couple weeks. I think Austin Eckler is going to start picking it up. The only real connection going on in LA is Justin Herbert to Keenan Allen, but it seems to be working. But yeah, I like the Chargers at home in this one, even with the coach controversy and everything. I think the Broncos, yeah, are going to start falling off and not doing too much to end the season. They're gonna fall out of the wild card hunt and everything like that. I got the Chargers in this one. They're moved to 6-7 after this week. So yeah, give me LA at home in this one. And then yeah, Sunday night, tough game. Gonna be something to look out for. You have Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Dallas to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Like we mentioned earlier, Dallas is on a 14-game home win streak, and Eagles coming off that loss last week. Yeah, Dallas has a 3.5-point spread in this one. At home. So yeah, who do you got? Philly or Dallas?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, just like you said, Philadelphia coming off a loss. Cowboys coming off a gritty win against Seattle. I'm gonna go Cowboys at home. Yeah, that 14-game win streak at home, and then their offense. They put up how many points? 43 points, or whatever it was
Yeah.
last week. And then the Eagles got throttled by the 49ers. So I'm gonna go Cowboys at home.
Yeah, I think Eagles actually bounce back in this one, and I think yeah, Eagles. I think their secondary needs some help. I think the coaches are talking to the secondary this week, all week, and that's all they're working on is the secondary getting some different coverages, either man or zone or whatever it is, to try to slow down CeeDee Lamb because yeah, he's been dominating. But yeah, Tony Pollard hasn't been doing much this year. Yeah, I like the Eagles in this one. On the road, I think they're going to snap that 14-game win streak from Dallas and show that why their record is 10-1 here. And then Jalen Hurts just has that dog in him. I don't think he's ever going to lose two straight back to back. So give me Philly on the road in this one over the Dallas
Yeah,
Cowboys. So
and yeah, they're 10-2. They have 2 losses.
yeah,
Philadelphia does. So yeah, you said 10-1, 10-2, and they're not much better. A lot of teams in the AFC are 9-3, 9-3. So their record's not much better than a lot of teams in the NFL. They got 1 game on them. So yeah, it's gonna be a good game, but I just don't. Like you meant, yeah, 14-game win streak at home, and then the Eagles losing by 30 to the 8-3 now 49ers. So yeah, I got to stick with the Cowboys.
yeah, yeah. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I think I'm gonna rock with Jalen Hurts and his heart and his determination to get that win in Dallas because yeah, this is the most anticipated game probably of the season. Yeah, divisional matchup. Uh, yeah, it's gonna be a fun game to watch. But I like Philly in this one on the road. Yeah, give me the Eagles in this one. And then we get blessed with two Monday night games. They're at the same time though, which is kind of silly. But the first game shouldn't even be really a game. You have the Tennessee Titans traveling to Miami to face the 9-3 Dolphins. Miami has a 13-point spread in this one over Tennessee, who are sitting at 4-8. They're 0-6 on the road. Tennessee is, and I don't know if they'll have Derrick Henry. He went out with the concussion and everything. So yeah, I like the Dolphins on at home in this one. I think Tyreek Hill has another 150-yard game, and just gets even closer to that 2,000-yard mark that he said he was going to get at the beginning of the year. So yeah, I like the Dolphins in this one at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with you here. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer to pick the Dolphins at home. Um, they'll probably roll over them, to be honest. Uh, and yeah, they move to 10-3, and depends how I picked Baltimore, so you'll still have two 10-3 teams atop of the AFC. So that's gonna come down to the wire, I think. These last 4 or 5 games. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dolphins here against the Titans.
Yeah, they got a couple. Dolphins have a couple kind of easy walk-in games. You got the Tennessee Titans this week, and then the Jets next week. But to end their season, they've got the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the Bills. So, gonna be a tough stretch towards the end. So hopefully they don't overlook any of these teams here, either the Titans or the Jets, and they just keep on with the gas pedal and put up another 45, 50 points on the Titans here. So yeah, both going Dolphins in this one. So, and then yeah, it's another Monday night game for the Packers here. I guess they've had Sunday night game, but another primetime game at 7:15. Packers traveling to New York actually New Jersey at MetLife Stadium to face the 4-8 Giants. Yeah, who do you got in this one? Obviously,
Yeah, obviously the Packers. Yeah, and they did say Tyrod Taylor is healthy for the Giants, but he is not going to be the starter. They're going to stick with that Tommy DeVito or whatever his name is.
yeah, he hasn't been playing
So
bad.
not too bad, no. So
And they're
uh,
coming off a bye, so hopefully they worked a little bit on the offense of the New York Giants, but their defense is pretty solid. But yeah, I like the Packers in this
yeah,
one
Packer.
too.
I think
On
Packers are gonna. This is actually a big statement. I mean, we've had two big games against tough teams, but if we can put up 35 on these guys, or 40, maybe even 40, it's a big statement. And then yeah, the Packers get rid of James Robinson as a backup running back, and they picked up Kenyon Drake this afternoon. So that's a huge addition. And he's a baller. I mean, I know he's getting pretty old and hasn't really done much in a while. So that's a big get, and I think that Packers do see some light like in their team, so they're going to start maybe picking up these players that can add a little bit, if anything, to the team and make them better. So yeah, I'm going to go Packers at MetLife.
Yeah, I like the Packers in this one too. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They won four out of the last five. And then yeah, like we said, they kind of have a kind of an easy, not a cakewalk, but they have some pretty games that are or some games that are pretty winnable for them. So yeah, I like the Packers in this one too on Monday night. If they just keep the confidence up and keep the momentum going, Christian Watson probably another 2 touchdown game. Jordan Reed will probably have a touchdown in this one. But yeah, I think AJ Dillon is going to step up and kind of fill the role of the missing Aaron Jones, and then I don't think Kenyon Drake's going to get many touches this game. I think it's just going to be all AJ Dillon from Quad University. So yeah, give me the Packers in this one on the road in MetLife at MetLife. So yeah, I like the way Jordan Love's been playing the past couple of weeks, and if he just keeps it rolling, then I think yeah, Packers are going to find their way into the playoffs somehow after that poor start. So yeah, give me the Packers in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wraps it up for Week 14 of the NFL. Lot of good games, some divisional games, and then yeah, some statement games from some teams that need to get a win over some like the Bills and Chiefs. If Chiefs fall again to the Bills, oh, that might be a herder, but they'll still make the playoffs. But then the Eagles and the Cowboys is going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's a
Broncos,
big game for the
Chargers,
Eagles. But it's a big
Vikings,
game. That's a big game
Raiders.
for both of them. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. A lot of
Vikings
lot of big
Raiders really don't
games.
matter. I don't think.
Yeah. Just
Maybe the
because
Vikings
yeah, there's only what 4 weeks left, 5 weeks left of the
5 weeks
NFL
left.
season.
Yeah.
So a lot of these teams need to win to stay in the wild card hunt, or just to stay in the wild card. But yeah, most of the teams there at the top of the rank are already in the playoffs and probably won't be knocked out of the playoffs. But heading into the wild card, those are the games that you need to get into, and need to win these games coming up. So yeah, good solid week 13, and then yeah, much anticipated week 14 with some of these games towards Sunday night and everything like that. So yeah, that wraps it up for week 14, and then we had selection Sunday last week for college football. A lot of controversy around who was selected and who wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll kind of dive into that just a little bit here before we wrap it up. But yeah, how do you think the selection Sunday went? And then yeah, your championship games for like ACC, SEC, all of the Power Five teams, all the Power Five schools had their championship games this week. And then yeah, you had Michigan at number one, Washington at number two. Alabama squeaked it in over the win over Georgia in the SEC championship game. Georgia falls from number one down to like number seven, which is unheard of, especially the dominant season that they had, and they missed the championship game or the championship selection. And then number four, you had Texas squeaking in there as well, even though you had FSU with an undefeated record and winning the ACC championship. They barely missed that four spot. And yeah, a lot of disappointment in Florida. And yeah, what were your thoughts on the selection Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see. I don't see a big issue with it. I guess I'm glad Bama made it, just with their track record and Saban as a head coach. I really did think, yeah, Florida State's kind of tough. I mean, obviously you're only the third undefeated team left in the season, and they don't make it. Texas kind of shocked me. Washington's good. I just don't know. It's kind of tough. I don't like the layout of the college playoffs. I'm excited for next year, and I think they're going to 8 teams, I believe, or are they going to 12?
8 or 12, I can't remember. I think it's
Yeah,
12, but
but yeah, I'm just ready for that. I don't think having a committee to pick these teams. I'm shocked that Florida State didn't make it. Like you said, they had the 53rd toughest schedule, which
yeah,
obviously makes an impact. But I mean, they're still undefeated, and obviously the factor of not having their starting quarterback,
Jordan
um,
Travis, yeah, with the
Jordan
injury.
Travis, that
Yeah.
affects them. But yeah, Michigan kind of shocking too. I mean, they were proven to be cheaters with Harbaugh getting suspended 3 games. But at the end of the day, they're one of the best teams. I think Alabama's one of the best teams, and I think Washington's one of the best teams. I don't think a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I don't think Texas is one of the best teams. Quentin Ewers didn't play, how many ever games it was, and came back and played a good game. But how long
Mhm.
can he do it? I mean, he's a young quarterback. Um, but yeah, I thought Florida State got screwed, and I think a lot of people agree with me, but I think probably a lot of people disagree as well, and thought it was such a great pick. But yeah, I don't know. I think Bama's going to end up winning it all, but I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, well, with that Bama and Georgia game when Bama upset Georgia there in the SEC championship, you definitely knew that they were making it, especially after knocking off the number one team in the nation. Um, yeah, and yeah, Bama with Nick Saban and everything. But yeah, it was kind of a heartbreaker for Florida State fans just because yeah, they did have an undefeated season, yet they did have the 55th hardest schedule or strength of schedule. So and Bama had the fourth hardest strength or fourth strength of schedule. So I mean, yeah, it makes sense. And after knocking off Georgia, you definitely thought they were going to make it. Little surprised by Texas, but yeah, Texas did beat Alabama, and Alabama beat Georgia. So, yeah, I mean, I think I tip my hat to the committee. It's always tough to make those top four teams. I mean, there hasn't been this much controversy since like back in 2014. Usually, you have your solidified top four teams, but this year was a little different with Georgia, Florida State, all of those teams there. So it was kind of tricky. But I do tip my cap to the committee. It's always tough when you have to go in and pick all of those teams.
Yeah,
So
for sure. I mean, it is. Yeah, and you only got 4 teams to pick from, or 4 teams that are going to make it. And Georgia could even hopped in there, even losing to Bama. Um, I don't know.
yeah,
Unfortunately, you could have made it. It was just tough. I mean, but yeah, I'm excited to watch them. I'm not. Yeah, I'll pick a winner, but I'm not going to pick. I don't know. I think Bama's going to win it all. I like Nick Saban, and I think he's got a good crew.
yeah, I think Bama will probably win it all too. But Michigan is tough. Is tough. They got the JJ McCarthy,
Hmm.
and then we got Washington with Penix Jr.
Yep.
But that Jalen Milroe, you knew as soon as he threw that touchdown pass against Auburn a couple weeks ago, and he comes out and says, "Give me that motherfucking trophy right now." Yeah, he's out for blood, and he wants to win the whole entire thing. So I do like Alabama in this. They do have a
Hmm.
tough matchup against Michigan right away, though, and things of
Yeah,
that
for sure.
nature. But yeah, they get a couple weeks off to kind of prepare for the semifinals there on New Year's Eve or on New Year's Day actually. You got Michigan and Alabama, and then you have Washington and Texas.
Yeah.
Um, so it's going to be a fun college football playoff experience, and it's going to be fun to watch, I think. But yeah,
Hmm.
you just feel bad for the Florida State fans.
Yeah.
Georgia, they easily could have been in there over Texas. I mean, Georgia is the best team in college football right now,
Right.
I think.
Right.
But yeah, that the quarterback, I think his name's Bell, or I can't remember Georgia's quarterback's name right off the top of my head.
The white kid,
Um,
right?
yeah, yep, and yeah, it looks like he kind of has some kind of disease, but yeah, Carson Beck, he's been playing well, but just couldn't get anything going against Alabama's
They needed
defense,
to win
and
that game
yeah,
to get
they
in.
definitely
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think they're better than Texas for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But yeah, Texas coming out strong to end the
Mhm.
season. Arch Manning got in for the last couple snaps to take a knee, and then their running back who tore his ACL at the beginning of the season, he was actually in at the end of the game to take that last knee and got the game ball. Yeah, just a heartbreaker for him, but they're going to the college football championship playoffs and everything like that. So yeah, it's going to be fun to watch this next couple weeks. You got bowl games, not this weekend, but next weekend. So we get to watch there's only one game on this weekend. It's Army versus Navy.
Yep.
Um,
That's a good battle. It always is.
yeah, and they're actually 16-2 against the over under. So usually they're always under.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the spread on that game here, I'll take a look and see what that spread or that over under is for this coming up week. Um, yeah, Army versus Navy is going to be a 27 and a half over under. And like I
Hmm.
said, they're 16, and when these teams face, they're 16-2 for the under. So you might want to just put a few dollars on the under, just because yeah, it's always going to be a battle between the Army and the Navy, but it's always a fun game to watch. And then yeah, bowl games, like I said, start December 11th.
Yeah. We can talk
Um,
about those next week too, because we'll have a
yeah,
podcast prior to that. So.
yeah, 100%, 100%. But yeah, and then you have NBA. Their in season tournament championship is quarterfinals are tonight, and then the championship here is this weekend. So that should be a fun. Lakers are playing in the semifinals against the Suns right now. So yeah, not right now, tonight though. So
Mhm.
it should be a good game. Knicks are up right now, or Knicks are down right now to the Bucks. So it could be the Bucks and the Lakers in the in-season tournament championship. But yeah, kind of been fun to watch a little bit of
I
basketball,
haven't watched any of it.
college basketball is going on right now. They're doing the Jimmy V Foundation tournament right now. Illinois was playing Florida Atlantic, and I was watching that a little bit, and that was kind of a good game. Illinois is looking good. They got a couple of young players on their team. They're tall, but Florida Atlantic is sitting at number 11 in the nation, and Illinois at 20. So yeah, just fun to watch some basketball, kind of making that transition slowly but surely from football into basketball, and all of that good stuff. So yeah, excited for week 14 of the NFL. Excited for New Year's to come around to watch the college football playoffs, and then basketball will be going on all year. Kind of a little lull right now in basketball, just with that end season tournament. I think they get a little bit of a break
Yeah.
here,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, solid all around for sports and athletics and all that fun stuff. Yeah, college basketball, women's college basketball, hockey, all that fun stuff. So
Yep. Yep.
but yeah, that's pretty much it for all I got. Do you got anything? You want to go over
Yeah. Let's
Christmas
go.
movies here
Yeah. We'll
quick?
do. You can pick one here quick. We got a little bit of time, so pick. You can go first. I know what movie did you pick last week? I picked Home Alone.
Yeah, I got Christmas Vacation last week, but yeah, their movies are on pretty much all the time now for Christmas. So I just actually watched Jingle All the Way last week with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad. And that's always a fun one. That one's a classic too. I really like that movie. It's not as popular as maybe Home Alone or Elf or um, Christmas Vacation and stuff like that. But yeah, Jingle All the Way is a good movie if you're looking for something to change it up a little bit. So I
Yeah.
probably have to go Jingle All the Way as one of my underrated
I
Christmas
don't think I've
movies.
ever
So
seen it. I may have seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it. But I'm gonna go. It's a series again, kind of like Home Alone. I'm gonna go Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Those are some of my favorites, so I'm gonna put that in my top. Going top four, top five. I'm gonna put the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen.
Yeah, no, that one is fun. I watched that one as well when he was like, I'm in big trouble. And
Yeah, yep,
he puts on the scares the shit out of Santa. He falls off the roof and
yep, yep.
he
And
puts on the
he's got, I think
coat.
he has a son named Charlie, right?
Yep, exactly. Yep. No,
Yep.
that's a classic movie, Christmas movie as well. So, but yeah, that wraps it up for episode number 43 of Two Confrontational. We were reviewed week 13 NFL, previewed week 14, got our picks in. And then, yeah, college football playoff selection was last week, Sunday. So excited for that to come around. And then,
Yes, sir.
yeah, that's basically it. You got anything else, buddy?
That's it.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to episode number 43 of Two Confrontational. Yeah, we'll be back next week, same time, same place. So keep in touch and stay tuned for week episode number 44. But until then, peace.
Peace.